You are 5 meters under off Jamaica, and you can still see a street, not rock, but brick and curb. A house wall stands to waist height in green water that holds silt falling like snow. Your bubbles rise as light thins, and a brass disc catches it below you. It is a pocket watch lying on silt with hands pointing to 11:43. No one has wound it for 300 years, and that time is not trivia. It is when sand turned to water, and a harbor city fell through its own ground. Hold that time. Take 2 facts and keep them until we are back in sun. One city ahead disappeared in less than 3 minutes, faster than you could run its length. One city ahead never sank at all. Men brought water to it and shut the door. Do not mix them up, because one is catastrophe and one is choice. We begin with the opposite kind, a city so shallow you could stand in it. It was ruin when Homer sang, and so clear you can read its streets from the surface. You fin over Pavlopetri off southern Laconia, where water turns glass. 3 to 4 meters deep is stand depth, and sun hits limestone so you see a town like a map. Streets cross at right angles, house walls stand to knee height, and courtyards keep thresholds in place. 37 stone graves are cut at the edge, and the plan covers more than 2 football fields. You touch a wall laid around 2800 BC. 5,000 years ago, 1,200 years before Mycenaeans gave Homer heroes. This port lived on bronze, oil and cloth before pyramids were finished, and it did not fall in a day. About 1000 BC, an earthquake dropped the coast 3 meters, while the sea rose about 5 meters in 5,000 years. Not a wave but a creep, centuries taking a courtyard at a time, and that slow drowning saved the plan. On land, plows would have scattered it, but sand weighted it down. In 1904, Phocion Negris marked it on a chart. In 1967, Nicholas Fleming towed a line from a small boat off Southampton and saw walls instead of sand. He found the oldest planned town known underwater. If water erases, why is the clearest Bronze Age street under 3 meters of sea? You drop and water changes over Abu Qir Bay off Egypt, 6.5 kilometers offshore and 10 meters down. Visibility is an elbow, and you push through brown to touch a face of stone 5 meters tall. This is Thonis-Heracleion. Egyptians said Thonis, and Greeks said Heracleion, the gate before Alexandria. Every Greek ship had to pass and pay. Canals between islands and harbors held hulls. Divers mapped 64 wrecks and 700 anchors in 11 by 15 kilometers, a harbor that worked. From the 8th century BC to 331 BC, when Alexandria was founded, Thonis was rich, then ground betrayed it. Delta silt holds water like a sponge. Shake it and it flows, and around 101 BC, the central island liquefied. In the 8th century AD, another quake pushed the rest about 3 meters down, leaving 1,200 years gone. People called it legend until French archaeologist Franck Gaudiot came looking for French warships lost to Nelson. He started sonar survey in 1996, and in 2000 his magnetometer showed stone where charts showed mud. Divers cleared silt and found gold, bronze, pottery, and a black stone upright, 1.9 meters high. A decree of Pharaoh Nectanebo I from 380 BC is carved in hieroglyphs in Greek. It says 10% of goods entering Thonis goes to the temple of Meath. It names Thonis in stone, and that slab proved Thonis and Heracleion were the same place. If water destroys, why does lettering cut 2,400 years ago still cast shadow? Now Italy over the Bay of Naples, where you snorkel at 5 meters above Baiae. Not a wreck, but a resort. Columns in rows and a black and white mosaic squaring the floor. You swim through the Nymphaeum of Emperor Claudius, where niches held marble. Copies of Antonia Minor and Ulysses with a wine cup were lifted to the museum. The poet Sextus Propertius called this a vortex of luxury and a harbor of vice in the 1st century BC, and he was advertising. Everyone with marble came to be seen, so why is it underwater? Sea level rose little here. The land moved. Baiae sits on the Campi Flegrei, the burning fields, a supervolcano 20 kilometers wide. Hot water lifts ground, gas escapes and ground drops, a process we call bradyseism, or slow quake. By the 4th century, porticos washed at high tide, and between the 1500s and 1800s, the caldera floor sank again. Faults cracked under Portus Iulius, the war harbor Agrippa cut in 37 BC. The mole slid and Villas followed. On shore, the temple of Diana stayed dry because it stands higher, and that is the test. If sea rose, all would sink together, but it did not. Low parts went and high stayed. The park now covers 176 hectares, protected since 2002. You still see it because volcano lowered it gently and mud capped it, not flood but subsidence, and hold that difference for the city that fell at once. Now the Sand City in Kingston Harbor, 7 June 1692 in blue heat. A spit of sand holds a town of 2,000 houses and 4,000 people, warehouses of rum and silver with taverns open. At about 11:43 the ground rolls, not a brief shake but a surge that turns ground to soup. Under the town lies 20 meters of loose sand over clay, and when shaken hard water forces between grains so sand flows. Buildings have nothing to stand on, and in less than 3 minutes about 13 hectares go, 33 acres or 24 football fields. 2/3 of town slip below the harbor, wharves tip and ships lean on streets. 2,000 die that day, and 2,000 more of fever in weeks after. The place was called the wickedest on earth, and the storehouse of the West Indies, both true until noon. On the bottom divers found a curb still straight, brick houses with sills, and pewter plates stacked on a shelf. A small gold watch made in 1686 shows hands at 11:43. It stopped when water hit, and sand that killed sealed. Silt kept oxygen out, and brick stayed as it fell. That is how speed preserves, not despite disaster but because of it. Now the place city in Zhejiang Hills, where you hover over a lake bigger than many counties. 573 square kilometers, islands on the surface, and a valley holding a county town below. You drop through dark fresh water, 40 meters or 131 feet, 34 meters in the shallows. Light vanishes at 10 meters and torch takes over, and at about 30 meters a stone arch appears intact. Then another, then a street of slabs. This town was laid in 621 AD in the Tang dynasty, with some walls older, 5 gates and 6 main streets, 265 memorial arches and 27 temples. Lions, dragons, and phoenixes are cut so clean you see teeth, and the town climbs a hill in terraces. For 1,300 years it governed trade and grain, until September 1959 when engineers closed the Shinan River for a hydroelectric plant. A reservoir was needed, nearly 300,000 people moved, and water rose a meter at a time. Doors stayed hung and arches stayed standing. No storm and no siren that mattered. For 40 years no one looked, until 2001 when divers from Shanghai following old maps dropped and found streets where charts showed depth. Timber softened but stones stayed sharp, no salt, no current, little oxygen at 40 meters. That is the lid, cold fresh water without oxygen that holds time. And this time men tightened the lid themselves. Hold those two facts and fit names to them. The city that vanished in less than 3 minutes is Port Royal on Jamaica. 13 hectares in one shock at 11:43 on 7 June 1692. 20 meters of sand turned to water. The city that was not taken but given is Shicheng under Qiandao Lake in China. 40 meters down since September 1959, when the Shinan Dam closed. The reservoir rose over 5 gates and 265 arches, and 300,000 people left the valley. Put them together and you see the trick. Port Royal was accident, sand that held weight until shaking stopped it. Shicheng was choice, a valley chosen and filled. Both stayed because water shut air out, one by mud in minutes and one by cold depth for 40 years without a look. That is why a street can wait under 3 meters and a watch can wait at 11:43. Water does not forgive, it keeps instead. On land air eats stone and plows erase streets. Underwater silt lids stone and cold takes oxygen away. Pavlopetri keeps its grid at 3 meters for 5,000 years. Heracleion keeps lettering at 10 meters for 2,400. Baiae keeps mosaic at 5 meters after volcano lowered it. Port Royal keeps a curb after falling in minutes. Shicheng keeps lions with teeth after being placed on purpose. So is a sunken city a tragedy or a preservation miracle? Some say leave them where they keep, others say lift what we can while we can. What do you keep? Tell me below. If you dive, subscribe and we go darker.